Hello all, this is Dr. Maslak talking to you about reciprocity.com. And in this particular video, I want to talk about doing a PhD for an executive business career. So if you don't know me, I'm a professor of innovation strategy and entrepreneurship, and I created this whole reciprocity project to give back as much as I possibly can. There were so many people that helped me out to get through graduate school that I decided to do something about it and pay the favor forward to other people. All right. So, should you actually do a PhD to do an executive business career? So, there's kind of two different takes on this. So, if you are doing a PhD in the physical sciences, so like chemistry or biology or biomed stuff or whatever it is, then it is somewhat common actually to do a PhD and then do an MBA after that and then get into the business career. I think it's kind of a standard if you're in the pharmaceutical industry and you want to be an executive of sorts and not go through kind of like sales and things like that. So you'd have to do terms of going through the technical route. You would do a PhD in, maybe it's pharmacology or something like that. And then after that, you would go and get an MBA. You maybe do that when you're working or after you're working and all that kind of stuff. So it's fairly common in that sort of field. But if you're thinking of doing a PhD in a business school or, in doing it as a business degree and sort of doing it as the next stepping stone after your MBA, I'd highly wouldn't recommend it. In fact, it's probably, it's going against a lot of different norms. I've had experiences in my past that were really kind of interesting in terms of, when I started out, I was a, master's student trying to figure out what I want to do. And, you hear a lot of things about going into industry and all that kind of stuff, right? Like people tell you that you should go into industry, get a degree and go into industry. But, when I actually went and talked to some of the sort of real academics around and stuff like that, I remember actually at this one conference that I was at, I was telling somebody, I was thinking, I might do a PhD and then go into academia. I just turned around and walked away. They were so not interested in about that. Or sorry, I meant doing a PhD and going into industry. They just were so not interested hearing about that. And that's kind of what the norm is. There's very, very strong norms against going and getting doing non-academic careers after that. So typically what happens if you do a PhD after in a business school or something, a professional school or whatnot, whatever it is, you actually become an academic in that particular area, right? So if you're doing a PhD in business school, then you're going to be a professor, a tenure track professor in a business school after that. So it's generally what ends up happening is after a few years, people try it and they realize that they don't like it. Well, then they will go into non-academic careers after that. And the ones that actually do a PhD and then go into non-academic careers is that they spend some time, they realize they don't like the sort of PhD life and all that kind of stuff, and then they decide to go and do sort of non-academic stuff and go into industry, which is, it's not common, but at the same time, it is not uncommon, right? Like I would say, a quarter of the people, maybe a little bit less than that, will go into industry after they do a PhD in business administration around the world. In the US, it's a little bit less. And, it depends on what school you're going to and all that kind of stuff, where the norms and pressures are and things like that. But, most sort of American and Canadian schools and stuff like that, there's going to be pressure for you to go into academia after it. And it's very strong pressure. So don't expect to do a PhD in business to go in and become an executive in a business sort of career and do that kind of stuff. So you want to think about, if you're going to do that route, doing the physical sciences first, then do an MBA. Or if you want to become an executive and in a business career, just go get an MBA. After you do your degree, the best route is either going through the technical route, so going and doing product development or something like that, and then getting an MBA, or you could do the sales route is a really sort of lucrative career to do that, where you go into sales and then get an MBA and then go become an executive that way, or going into accounting and doing that kind of route, more accounting and finance and stuff like that. That's kind of those are more along the ways that, but some people do HR and things like that. But those are kind of the ways that are probably the most lucrative to go and become an executive. So hopefully this answers your question. It makes a lot of sense in terms of doing a PhD after. Or doing a PhD to go get an executive business career. I wouldn't do it in a business school. I would do it if you're going to do a PhD and then go into executive career, I would do it in like the physical sciences and then do an MBA and then go that way. But in general, there's very strong norms in the business school against it. So don't go that route. Anyways, hopefully this answers your question, and give me a thumbs up if you like this video. Do take care. Bye.